even when I see the personal brands, I don't know if we're calling anyone out, but I'm like, when
this
I
is
see,
the
I guess it is authentic
podcast.
but I see people like,
people care so much about like just having everything perfect up front that like this kind of stuff is like a nightmare, right? And
absolutely, yeah.
Usually when I see my most successful clients and I compare them to like somebody who's not as successful that are kind of like stuck in a rut, this is the biggest personality difference I see. Like Mel Robbins, like sometimes I'm like, hey, you sure you want to like use that design because that looks like shit? And she really doesn't care. At the end of the day, she just, as long as it provides value, she really doesn't care. And some of our clients that's been at it for years that are, trying to like build their personal brand, it's almost like they care so much detail, like every one of their Instagram posts has to be perfect. And like, it's just, and it's the personality, right? And that's what stops them from actually focusing on what's important, which is their message.
But yeah. And I think as we've built this brand, that was the facade that I believed. Is that our first podcast would be amazing. Our first videos had to be perfect. Our first, like, I truly believe that the first was supposed to be as good as what we're doing now. And
don't get me wrong, right? Like I see it with my own eyes happening. And when I started mine, I was still like that. So a lot of times, like we know it for other people and we give that advice, but we just don't take it for ourselves.
No, because I mean, I feel like we're conditioned to believe that in some ways, especially in this personal brand stuff. And then even when I see the personal brands, I don't know if we're calling anyone out, but I'm like, when
this
I see,
is the
I guess it is
podcast.
But I see people like Amy Porterfield, who I've used her stuff.
She's awesome, by the way.
But yeah,
not the singer.
No, but even the posts about the imperfections are perfect.
Have perfect photos. Yeah.
Perfect photos. But I really liked one time I saw her like repost like some of her first videos when she was sitting at her computer and it looked like she was in like an office space in her home or like somewhere that was not perfect. Some of her first YouTube videos were just like poor quality webcam. And I was like, thank you for sharing that because it made me remember like, oh man, I don't have to have this like exactly perfect.
That's true. Her video qualities are really good. And I can see her like, sometimes she talks about like she shows her set and all of that. But maybe that's because that's what she's teaching. Because like her personality is very real. You can tell like when she talks and like, I love her. Like,
yes.
But yeah, you're right. Like I think because she's showing these like perfectly lit, beautiful photos on her Instagram, other people are starting out are going to look at that and be like, oh, I can't do it unless I have that too, which is totally wrong.
Right. And so I always appreciate when she and like I see other people point back. Gary V does this a lot. Yeah. He's like,
Gary gives zero fucks, literally. Like you can tell.
Yeah. So when he like points back and he's like, this was the shit I used to put out, y'all. Like it was not good, but I just put it out and I kept putting it out and I kept putting it out. And he actually has this one really great video that he put together where it was like, I don't know if he was doing the wine tasting. It was back when he was more into the wine.
The wine library TV. Yeah.
Yeah. And like his first videos and he like does a time lapse of like all of the episodes.
Oh, that's awesome.
See them go from him
like
at
a
this
shitty VCR, like
yeah, like really bad because he's been doing this for a while, like 10 years or more. but you get to see the progression. And so I always appreciate it when like,
it's more inspiring to see that actually. Yeah.
Yeah.
I always look at the first videos that people did, because even like Marie Forleo, like when you go back in the beginning, her videos, like, because Marie Forleo is like the epitome of like great design. Like when somebody talks about personal brand or something like that, they're all like, oh, I want to be like Marie Forleo.
Yeah.
Because her designs are so perfect. But when you go back even on her videos, they're not, they weren't always like that.